Hello, hello, and what's up to you all awesome and wonderful matriculants. It is the first day of September. Happy spring. It is a new season and it is a new month. I hope you've got your plans in order, and some of you are writing your prelims, so all the best, matriculants. And if you're preparing for some other subjects to come, all the best. Keep it focused and keep it in the plan and on your timetable. Stick to it if you have a study timetable. But otherwise, my name is Abram, and we're in for a lovely show to learn more and learn extra together with our awesome teacher, Sihle. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Bob.
I'm in Somdala manje.
I'm none.
Well, for those who don't know, on Saturday it was Sihle's birthday. So happy birthday, and some would say happy belated birthday. So my teachers, I want you to correct my English. Should I say happy belated birthday or happy birthday? I don't know, because his birthday was on Saturday. So there's that debate in the studio in terms of belated or not, because his birthday was on Saturday. I don't know. I say the wishes are belated. But the birthday is never belated. I don't know what the mindsetters think. So throw those comments on facebook.com/learnextra. Sihle, tell us, what are we doing?
Sure, Fitz. Today we're revising functions and calculus, but before we get into the actual lesson, I would like to wish the grade 12's English is coming. Right. All the best with your exam. You're starting on Thursday, and you're writing paper 1 on Thursday and paper 2 on Monday, okay? And please make sure now that you just go through the whole paper, you write the whole paper yourself, and then check how much you know. You've got only 3 days to go.
Nice one. Thank you, Sihle. Well, Mansitas, before we get started with the show, as promised to you guys, we have the Get Connected competition giveaway that we need to do right now. So I'm coming to you, Sihle, to draw one person to win the Sony Xperia L cell phone, proudly sponsored by Vodacom.
Sure, right.
Everyone, yeah, get the right box.
Okay.
So I'm sure you're gonna choose.
It's
just one.
Okay, this one, no.
It's for the cell phone, Mindsetters. So
okay, not this one.
Airtime will be drawn tomorrow, 10 lucky Mindsetters.
It's one, okay. This one, Faith Masoga.
Faith Masoga, congratulations. You are getting the Sony Xperia L cell phone, so you're going to be calling us. Yeah, with that phone. So, my sisters, if you'd like to win the airtime, stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to be having the draw and also a new set of our teachers for you to vote for. So, guys, that is an awesome giveaway. Back to you. Let's get started, bro.
Sure, bros. Let's do some maths. Okay. All right, grade 12s, we're revising functions and calculus by doing like typical exam questions. And you have your challenge question here. Right, so you can start working on your challenge question. The question is, the remainder when x to 4 plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 2 is divided by x plus a is the square of the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. Calculate the possible values of a, right? So that is your challenge question, right? Now, question number 1, you're given a function, okay, so you're given 2 functions. Refer to the figure showing the graphs of your f of x equals to x squared minus 7x over 2 plus 3, and g of x equals to minus x plus 6. All right, so we've got those 2 functions as your parabola and your straight line. Now, d is the x-intercept of both graphs. Okay, so D is the x-intercept of your straight line and also your parabola. Now find the coordinates of A. All right, now we need to sit and look, where is A, all right? So A is this point. And what is happening at A? That's the point of intersection between 2 graphs, all right? So between your parabola and your straight line. So with your parabola, you've got y equals to x squared divided by 2 minus 7x divided by 2, as it plus 3. Okay, that's your first graph. And then you've got the second one equals to minus x plus 6. So you've got minus x plus 6. That's your 2. Now, at the point of intersection, those two graphs are equal, so they're the same there. So, because if you look at this, we've got y equals to blah, 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 and then we've got y equals to da, 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 da. So they both equals to y. We can equate the two, and then we'll have only one unknown, which is your x. So you've got x squared divided by 2 minus 7x divided by 2 plus 3 equals to minus x plus 6. Now, I want to solve for x there, all right? But I've got denominators. To get rid of your denominators, you need to find your LCD, okay? And you take your LCD, multiply each and every term with that LCD, okay? So now, in this case, we've got our LCD as, sorry, it's 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 this term, multiply that term by 2, multiply that by 2, multiply that by 2, multiply by that by 2. So you multiply each and every term by 2, so I get x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals to minus 2x plus 12, all right? Now the next step is to collect all our like terms and factorize. So we've got x squared, and here I've got minus 7x. On the right-hand side, I've got minus 2x. Take the 2x across. You've got a plus 2x, then minus 7x plus 2x. I get minus, that's minus 5x. Okay? Now there's a 12 here. Take it across. You get minus 12 plus 6, which gives us minus 6 equals to 0. And then this is now a trinomial. You've got your x. When you factorize that, you get 6 and 1 minus and a plus. So now you've got your x is 6 or x is negative 1. You go back to your question. They're asking you to find the coordinates of A. And now in your graph, there are 2 points of intersection. The first one is that, and then the second one is D. And if you look, D is on the positive x-axis, and A has got the x value, which is negative, and your y value should be positive. Now, here we know that it's going to be something n0, because that is your x-intercept. Okay, right now, so we go back and make a decision here. So for A, your x equals to minus 1, because it is in your second quadrant. So you've got minus 1 there, and then and something. We need to work out what x is, what y is, right? And then x equals to 6 here for D. So we've got 6 and 0. Now, how do I find the y at A, right? I've got 2 equations. I've got y equals to x squared over 2 minus 7x divided by 2 plus 3, and the y equals to minus x plus 6. You then take that x value, substitute in any of the 2, you'll get the same answer. Now, I'll choose the easier one. Okay, I've got y is minus x plus 6. So you've got minus bracket, your x is minus 1 plus a 6, then your y is 7. So the coordinates of A, it's minus 1, 7. So your A, it's minus 1, 7. Okay. Now, so you've answered that first question, right? So your A is minus 1, 7. Now, they go on and say, now, with your B, write down the values of x for which f of x is greater than g of x. Now, you go to your function, to your 2 graphs there. You've got your parabola and then your straight line. Now, they're asking for f of x greater or equals to g of x, right? Now, where is the parabola, okay, which is your f of x, above your straight line? So if you look here, this is your straight line, and then this is your parabola. Can you see that your parabola is above there, and then your straight line is below? When you come to this point, you go down, the parabola is below up to that point, and then now it starts to be above that straight line. So in other words, we're taking values of x more than the x value at D, and then this side less than the x value at A, okay? So in other words, so we'll have x is less or equals to minus 1, or x is greater or equals to the x value at D, which is 6. All right? And I know some of you that are struggling to read it from the graph, they do it algebraically on the side, and then they take their solution and write x is less or equals to minus 1, or x is greater or equals to 6. So they take the very same graph, so that's when they were equal, so x squared minus 5x minus 6, then x minus 6x plus 1. So they get x minus 6 x plus 1. Now the inequality sign is greater or equals to, it's not an equation now. Then you've got your minus 1 and 6. I want to where y is positive, so x is less or equals to minus 1, or x is greater or equals to 6. But this is what we want. Okay, right? Now, the next part, you need to find the equation of a tangent, okay, to f at c, and c, which is an x-intercept of f, okay? Now, we need to find the equation of a tangent here, right? And remember, a tangent is a line, it's a straight line that touches a curve only at one point. So in other words, if we're talking of a line, so it is a straight line, so your equation will be in the form of y equals to mx plus c. Now, remember, to find your equation of a tangent, you need to work out a derivative, okay? So you need to find the gradient of your curve, right? And then from there, you go to the x value at that particular point where this tangent is in contact with your curve, and then you work out your gradient. So now, from now, we know that the equation of a parabola is x squared. So you've got y equals to x squared divided by 2 minus 7x divided by 2 plus 3. Okay? And the point there, right, this c is the x-intercept, okay? Right? Now, c, we need to work out what c is, right? So now c is the x-intercept of this parabola. Right? What happens at the x-intercept? Your y equals to 0. So we can work out the x-intercept. So we're going to say here, for x-intercept, let y be 0. So I've got 0 equals to x squared divided by 2 minus 7x divided by 2 plus 3. Then multiply by 2 throughout like we did in the previous question. X squared minus 7x plus 6 equals to 0. Factorize x minus 6, x minus 1. So x is 6 or x is 1. Now you go back. All right? You've got two x-intercepts. The first one is 6 and 0. So it means that this is the 1, 1, and 0. So you've got your x value there. Now we have 1 and 0. Okay, so we've got the point. Now next we need to work out the gradient of the curve, all right? So now we're finding the derivative here. So we find the derivative with respect to x. So dy dx is now 2 times that half, x to 1 minus 7 divided by 2, okay? Now, so you've got your dy dx equals to x minus 7 divided by 2, okay? Now next, our gradient, right? So our gradient will be, now the gradient at x equals to 1. So in the place of x, I'm going to sub in the 1. So I've got 1 minus 7 divided by 2. So this is minus 5 divided by 2. So our gradient is minus 5 divided by 2. Now we need to work out the equation of a line. So you need to work out the straight line. And we know that it should be in the form of y equals to mx plus c, right? So whereby we need your m, which is your gradient, and your c, which is your y cut. We already have the m now, so we can now work out our c. So you've got y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1, right? And we know that the point x1, y1, it's that point c. So I've got 1 and 0. So 1 and 0. This is your x1, this is your y1. So I have y minus naught equals to the gradient is minus 5 divided by 2, bracket x minus 1. Therefore, our equation of a tangent is minus 5 divided by 2x plus 5 divided by 2. Or you can just multiply by 2 throughout and have your 2y equals to minus 5x plus 5. So that is your equation of a tangent at point C. Right, now guys, I'm going to give you this question, the next question. You do it yourself at home and we'll have a break, and then after break we sit together and continue doing that one. Abram.
Thank you so much, Sihle, and congratulations once more again to Faith Masoge for winning the Sony Xperia L cell phone, probably sponsored by Vodacom. Tomorrow, check out the draw for the airtime vouchers. We've got 10 of them, so you could be the winner. We'll see you after the break. Hello, welcome back, my sisters. If you just joined us now, you're a bit late, but Sihle is taking it on gear 1, so you must catch up either way. You have the challenge question on our Facebook page, and also we do have awesome competitions for you guys, so you do have the test yourself questions. But now I want to tell you more about the app that we have, which is called More Maths. It is a mobile mathematics application that is there to help you, to assist you on what we are doing currently, the functions that we're going over. So you can test yourself, get results immediately. All you need to do is to register on moremaths.org and use your code, which is I2IK. So use that code. More information is on our Facebook page. Sihle, back to you.
Right, guys, we finished the last question on the question 1. Right, they're saying PQ is perpendicular to CD, P on G and Q on F such that P, all right, P lies between A and D. Find the maximum length of PQ. Right now, let's look at our diagram here. So they're saying P lies between A and D, all right? So it's exactly between A and D. So in other words, it is the midpoint of AD, okay? Now remember, in your analytical geometry, to work out the midpoint, so you've got your x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So now your x1 is, so we work out what P is, so that will be your minus 1 plus 6 divided by 2 is to 7 plus 0 divided by 2. So therefore, P is 5 divided by 2 and 7 divided by 2. All right. Now, they want us to work out the length PQ, the maximum length of PQ. So now we know that when we're working the distance between two graphs, you take the top graph, subtract the bottom graph, okay? Then that will be your distance. So now the top graph in this case is your straight line. Okay, this is your straight line. And then your bottom graph, that is your parabola. We have the equations. The straight line is minus x plus 6. So the length PQ will be minus x plus 6 minus our parabola, which is x squared divided by 2 minus 7x over 2 plus 3. So you've got x squared divided by 2 minus 7x divided by 2 plus 3. But now, do we know the x value at P? Yes, x is 5 divided by 2, so we're just going to substitute. So you've got minus 5 over 2, sorry, plus 6 minus bracket 5 over 2, right? But this is all squared, divided by 2, minus 7, 5 divided by 2, all divided by 2, plus a 3, all right? So the length PQ, I'm going to ask you to do it at home, and I'll take the solutions from them, okay? Okay. So they will just calculate, yes. But it's your straight line minus your parabola, and then the numbers, you just punch them in your calculator, and then you give us the maximum length PQ. Right. Now we move on to your calculus questions. Right. Question number 2. You're given that f of x equals to minus x cubed divided by 2. Find the derivative, okay, from first principles. Now remember, when they asking you to find the derivative from first principles, you all remember the formula. So it is your f prime x equals to the limit as h tends to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all divided by h. Now, guys, remember you can work it out using your derivative rules and see what is your final answer at the end of the day. So I have f of x equals to minus x cubed divided by 2. So f prime x will be minus 3 over 2 x squared. So our final result should be this, working with your first principles formula. Okay, so now we substitute. So you've got your limit as h tends to naught of f of x plus h. So in other words, in this function of x, where I see x, I sub in the x plus h. So I know that I've got that minus, right? So we've got that minus in front of the x cubed. In the place of x, I've got x plus h, but this is cubed all divided by 2 minus. Okay, now our f of x is minus x cubed divided by 2. Let's just double check here. So we've got minus x cubed divided by 2. Now, guys, we now have the limit as h tends to naught. Right. Now, some of you like expanding that bracket, x plus h, x plus h, x plus h, multiply out and get your solution. But others, they use the Pascal's triangle. So we've got a 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, and so forth and so forth. Right, so in third level, so here, all right, so you've got a 1, 3, 3, 1. So in other words, your x plus h all cubed, it's equals to, now the x cubed plus, so this will stand for your x cubed, and that will be your h cubed at the end of the day. So you've got your h cubed there. So we dealt with those two. Right, and then the 3, so you've got your 3. Now this drops by 1, so it's x squared h plus your 3xh squared. So here we have a minus, which we're going to multiply with that minus later. And you have x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cubed, right, all divided by 2 plus the x cubed divided by 2. All right? Now next, you multiply with that minus throughout. So I've got the limit as h tends to naught of minus x cubed. Now, guys, I'm multiplying with that minus 1 through. Okay, so I get minus 3x squared h minus 3x h squared minus h cubed, right? Because the denominator is 2, right? I can keep the same denominator, which is 2, plus the x cubed. Now, guys, watch what happens after this. I've got a minus x cubed plus the x cubed. So those two are like terms, right? And then this is, now if you look at that, there's an h here. So the whole thing is divided by h. So the whole thing is divided by h. So I have, this is all over h. Now next, guys, I've got an h here, I've got an h, I've got an h. So this, the next part, limit as h tends to 0. The common factor is h, all right? Bracket 3x squared, right? Minus 3xh minus the h squared, right? All divided by 2, right? Now remember that h, it's h divided by 1. So it's the same as multiplying by 1 over h. So this is all over 2h, okay? Now next, as you all can see, I've got an h there. That h divides with that h. Now come back. I've got the limit as h tends to 0. So limit as h gets more closer and closer to 0, okay? So I'm not going to put it in there like I put it to you, okay? So it's like substituting with that h equals to naught. So if I put a naught, I've got, okay, now guys, remember, you've got a minus 3x squared there, all right? Minus 3xh minus the h cubed, all right? I nearly forgot that minus, but my grandma down there just reminded me. Okay, right, So you've got a minus 3x squared minus 3xh minus h squared, right? And then if I sub in the 0 here and then the 0 there, I'm left with this. And then you have your limit. Now, the limit as h tends to naught. If I have substituted with the naught there, then I don't have to bring this in. So my f prime x will be your negative 3x squared, that is naught, all over 2, which is what we wanted at the end of the day. So our final answer should be your minus 3x squared divided by 2. Okay, right, I hope that helps. Okay, now, guys, we go on to question 2. Find dy dx. So you work out the derivative with respect to x if you're given y equals to 15x squared plus x minus 2 all over 3x minus 1. Right? And remember grade 12, so you don't just go and say, okay, now, because I know how to work out the derivative, so I'm going to say, okay, this is 30x plus 1 all divided by 3. No, right? If you have a denominator here, right? So you need to factorize the top part, right? So your x must not be the denominator. So I've got now the simplification. I've got 15x squared plus x minus 2. So if we factorize that, so this will be your 5x, 3x, and then a 2 and a 1. So here I've got a minus and then a plus, all divided by your 3x minus 1. Okay. Now, guys, so you've got your 3x minus 1 divided by the 3x minus 1, that and that divides. So I'm left with a y equals to 5x plus 2. Now remember, this is just a simplification. So I'm simplifying that fraction to y equals to 5x plus 2. I have not yet found the derivative. So now to work out your derivative, you've got your dy dx equals to the derivative of 5x is 5, and the derivative of 2x to naught is 0. So your dy dx is equals to 5. Right? Now, let's see if we've got another question. Right? Yep. Now, on C. Now, just to remind you, grade 12s, at this level, at this particular juncture, we are not able to find the derivative if your x is still under radical sign, so it's under that square root, or your x is the denominator. Okay. Now, so you need to simplify that first before you find your derivative. So you need to see your equation being x to exponent something, x to exponent something. In this case, it's the square root of x plus 1 divided by x squared. So x is the denominator, so we need to fix two things here. I need to fix the square root of x, and then I need to fix that denominator, right? So now, I am still simplifying, and as you can see, the notation, it is still f of x. So equals to, now the square root of x is the same as x to half plus x to minus 2 minus 3. I want to work out f prime 4, right? So the derivative, the gradient when x is 4, all right? Not that I have to just substitute. So this is, it's different from saying f of 4, right? F of 4 is when you're going to substitute there straight away. So it's f, look at the notation. But f prime 4, I need to work out the derivative first, all right? So now, I've got my x's as x to exponent, x to exponent. So I've got x to half plus x to minus 2. Right now, so I can be able to work out the derivative. So f prime x equals to, and now grade 12s, as you can see now, this is not the simplification. I'm going on to a different notation. I'm working out the gradient. So that's the derivative. Okay. Now the derivative of x to exponent half, I take the exponent, I multiply with the coefficient of x, then this is a half, x, subtract 1 there, so I get minus half, right? And then x to exponent minus 2, this is minus 2, x to exponent, now subtract 1 there, so minus 2 minus 1, that is minus 3, and the derivative of a constant is 0, all right? Now, guys, they're asking us to find f prime 4, right? So now, in other words, in the place of x now, I'm going to sub in the 4. So this is half, right? This is the same as all divided by the square root of x. Now the x is 4, right? Minus 2 divided by, this gives us the minus 2 divided by x cubed. So I take that x cubed down. So I've got 4 cubed, right? Now we can simplify this further. You've got a 1 divided by, we all know that the square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2, that's a 4, minus, you have your 2 divided by 4 cubed, so this is 2 divided by 64, right? And then you can simplify that fraction, and we have equal talapa, right, minus your 2 divided by 64, which gives us 7 divided by 32. Okay, right, and that's 7 divided by 32. So your f prime 4, right, is 7 divided by 32. So in this function, your gradient at x equals to 4 is 7 divided by 32. So we can be able to find the equation of a tangent at that point. Okay, right. Now, guys, we move on to the next question, right? Now, it says we're given x cubed minus 3x squared plus kx plus 8, where k is a constant. The graph has the turning point at x equals to 1. Find the value of k. Now, guys, you've got a cubic function. What is the gradient at that point, at the turning point, right? So the gradient is 0 there. So if this is your f of x, okay, here, missed it, okay, right, your f prime x is 0 at the turning point. All right, so now we can work out the derivative and we equate it to 0 because they're telling us that the graph has a turning point at x equals to 1. So now the derivative, and then when x is 1, it is 0. Now let's work out the derivative here. You've got your x cubed, so the derivative of, so f prime x is 3x squared, right? And the derivative of 3x squared is minus 6x. The derivative of kx, it's plus k. But we know that the derivative f prime at that particular point, x equals to 1, it's 3 bracket 1 squared minus 6, 1 plus k. The derivative is 0. Now, as you all can see that we now have only one unknown, which is our k. So you've got your 3 minus 6 plus k equals to kingo. Right, so you've got minus 3 plus k is 0. Therefore, your k is 3. Okay, now, just going back, if you sub in that 3 back, you work out your derivative, you'll find that x equals to 1, it's where the turning point is. Okay, right, thank you very much. I think that is understood. Abram, are they following?
Yes, they are.
Okay, sure. And are they answering the challenge question?
There are a couple of answers.
Okay, right. Now we'll look.
Which is good.
Yeah, we'll look at them later. All right, now I'm going to give you this question, all right? Or must I just do it now?
Let's do it after the break.
After the break, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my leader. Right, refer to the figure showing the graph of a cubic function f of x equals to ax cubed plus bx. I think this is ax cubed plus bx squared. Guys at home, please fix that. This should be a 2 plus cx plus d, a minus 6, 0, b minus 1, 0, c 2, 0, and f 0, 24 are the intercept with the axis with d and e as turning points. Okay, so and they even put it in the diagram there, so we know that a is minus 6, b is minus 1, and 2, and so forth and so forth. So I want you at home to work out to show that the value of a is negative 2, b is minus 10, c is minus 16, and d is 24. That's your first bit of this question, right?
All right, cool. Mindsetters, keep on answering the challenge question. Really, guys, check it out and do download or view the notes, because what Sihle is going over, you need to be going over too. If you want them, all of them, go to learn.mindset.co.za. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I know some of you are asking Sihle to go back and give us the length of PQ. So Sihle, I know you've got the answer.
Yeah.
As you're about to give us that answer, I have a question that I've posted on Facebook, guys. I'm asking you, who's in process of getting their learners, or who has a learners, a driving learners? If you have one, let me know, a learner's or a driver's license. So let me know on Facebook. Something big is coming on Mindset. So guys, do check it out, because we've got an awesome competition coming your way.
Sure. All right, guys. So the length of PQ, because we just saw it's a little bit messy there. So your length of PQ is 49 divided by 8 units, if you've worked it out. Okay. Now, guys, I want us to look at the challenge question. Abram, can you help me? You said we've got a couple of answers there. Okay. So now, can you tell me the answers?
Okay. Some of the answers that I have is A equal to -1, or 7 divided by 9.
Okay.
Either say A is equal to -1, A equal to -1. All of them, yeah.
Most of them, it's just -1.
It's -1 or 7 divided by 9.
Okay. Now,
there's
guys,
one
let's
who said A is 2.
A is 2. Okay, we'll see who's correct and who is not so correct. Right. Now the question is the remainder when x to 4 plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 2 is divided by x plus a is the square of the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. All right. Calculate the possible values of a. So now, in other words, we need to work out the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. Okay? And then you take that remainder. Now you go back. We are told that the remainder when this is divided by x plus a is the square of what you're going to get now. Right? I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to work out the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. Okay, you can use your long division here. All right? Abram, you still remember this in primary school. Okay? Right? So you've got the x plus a. Now we're saying x squared divided by x, you get x there. All right? And then x times x, that's x squared. Right? X times a, that's plus xa. Right? And then remember, even in your primary, and then we're saying, okay, minus, now change the signs there. Then you get minus xa, drop down that 3, minus 3. And you go on and say xa divided by x, you get the minus a. All right? Then that minus a times the x, it's minus xa. Then you have minus a times the minus, the positive a. So you get the negative a squared. Okay? Now you change the signs. Right? This will be a plus. That will also be a plus. Then you get a squared minus 3. Okay. Now, guys, we have found the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. Now we go back to our question. They're saying the remainder when this is divided by x plus a, right? So you can use your factor theorem there. So you've got x plus a. So I've got x plus a is 0. Then x is minus a, all right? So now I'm going to sub in the minus a here. So I've got this is x squared, right, plus 3x squared. Now that's actually x to 4, plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 2. All right? So this is divided by x plus a, and then the remainder is the square of the remainder when x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. So I'm going to sub in the minus a. So I've got minus a to 4 plus the 3 bracket minus a squared minus 2 bracket minus a plus 2. Now we are told that the remainder will be the square of the remainder when the x squared minus 3 is divided by x plus a. So this will be equal to the square of that. So I've got a squared minus 3, but this is all squared. All right. Now, guys, so we need to simplify now. I've got the minus a, but all to 4. So this is a to exponent 4. And then I've got a minus a, but all squared. Minus a by minus a, that's a squared. So that's plus 3a squared. Then minus 2 by minus a, I get 2a plus 2 equals to now. This, you've got two brackets, two lots of a squared minus 3. So that gives us a to 4 minus 6a plus 9. All right? So the next step, we need to collect our like terms. You've got a to 4 minus a to 4, if I can take it either side. So a to 4 becomes negative there. Then I'm left with a 3a squared. This is plus 2a, and then take that negative 6 across, so I get plus 8a, okay? And then this plus 9 across, okay? So what do we get? We get a minus 7 equals to 0. All right? Now there's something that we didn't do correct here. Let's just check. You've got x to exponent. Let's just double check here. We've got x to 4 plus 3x squared minus 2x plus a 2, right? And then we substituted with the minus a. So a minus a, we get minus a, that's a to 4, plus the 3 bracket minus a squared. So we get plus 3a squared, all right? And then we have that minus 2 times the minus 1. We get a plus 2a, and then plus that 2, all right? So now next, we get the a to 4, right, minus 6a plus a 9, all right? Now next, I have the 3a squared plus the 8a minus a 7, okay? No, but this doesn't work out. Abram? Let's just check, where did we go wrong here? You've got the x plus a, that's x squared minus 3. So the x squared divided by the x, it's x. X by x, that's x squared. X plus by a, it's xa. You change the sign, that's a minus. Then you get a minus a, then that's minus xa. Then you have the minus a squared. Then this is a squared minus 3. That's, everything is fine there, right? Let's check. Yeah, that's correct. So now, if I look at this, you've got 3a squared plus 8a minus 7. You can't factorize that. Therefore, x equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by a. And then you substitute, so you're minus 8 plus or minus the square root of b, that's 8 squared, that's 64, minus 4 bracket a is 3, bracket your c is minus 7, all divided by, this is all divided by 2a, so that's 2 bracket 3. And then, Abram, I'm going to ask you that my learners work it out, and then they get the value of x. And in this case, it's a. I just used x because we've got an a there as well. Okay. Right. So now, let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
Right?
Can I ask something before you move?
Okay.
On the previous question, before the challenge question, the one we did before the break, there are comments from the mindsetters, like this one says, can you please ask the teacher to review that question? I don't think k is 3. I think it's negative because he substituted wrong on the equation. Or am I wrong?
X is 1. Yeah. The derivative is 3x squared minus 6x plus k. And then you've got your f prime 1. So you substitute with the 1 there. So you've got 1 squared, which gives us a 3. And then a 1 times minus 6, it's minus 6 plus a k. And then you simplify that. 3 minus 6, that is minus 3, plus a k. Then you take the 3 across. Your k is 3. Because even if you go back and say, now, I substituted the value of x, I mean the k, you've got your f of x equals to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x plus 8. Now let's work out the derivative here. So you've got your f prime x is 3x squared minus 6x plus 3. Now we know that at the turning point, the gradient is 0. So you equate this to 0. You've got a 3, a 6, and a 3. There's a common factor of 3, so you have x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. And it does work out, because you've got to x minus 1 squared equals to 0, then x is 1. So x equals to 1 is where this graph has a turning point, and the value of k is 3.
Okay, I think she might have missed it somewhere.
Okay, all right. Now, let's move on to the next question, all right? This question, it says, a function, right, refer to the figure showing the graph of a cubic function, f of x equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Then you have your a is minus 6, 0, b is minus 1, 0, c is 2, 0, and f is 0, 24. All right, let's see. You've got your f is 0, 24 there. Right? Now, the question is, they're asking us to show that a is minus 2, b is minus 10, c is 16, and d is 24. All right? Now, it's given that you've got f of x equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus a d. All right? Now, you have your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is 0, 24, right? So you already have your d, because if x is 0, then your d will be 24. I'm taking it from the 0, 24, okay? Right, so that is covered. But I'm given 3 x-intercepts. If I'm given 3 x-intercepts, this is the formula I'm going to use. So f of x equals to a bracket x minus x1, x minus x2, and then x minus x3. All right? So I've got those 3 x-intercepts. I'm going to sub in with those 3 x-intercepts. And then from there, I am going to use any other point on the graph. Right, let's go back to the x-intercept. We've got minus 6, minus 1, and a 2. So this is a x minus minus 6. Right, and then your x minus, the next one is negative 1. So minus minus 1 is just a plus 1, bracket x minus, and the last one is 2. So x minus 2. All right? Now, this is your y equals 2. Now, I take any other point on the graph, and in this case, I've got 0, 24, so I can substitute y is 24 equals to a bracket 0 plus 6, bracket 0 plus 1, 0 minus 2. Then I have a 24, a bracket 6, a bracket 1, and then a minus 2. So now I've got only one unknown, which is your a. So on the right-hand side, I've got a minus 12. Left-hand side, I've got a 24. So at the end of the day, I get minus 2 is a. All right? So now your a is minus 2. I can just simply substitute. So I've got y is minus 2 bracket x plus 6 bracket x plus 1 bracket x minus 2. Now, you can simplify it further and make it in a form of y equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. So now this is y equals to minus 2 bracket. I can work out this first bracket, which is now giving us x squared plus 7x plus a 6 bracket x minus 2. Right? Now next, your y is minus 2 bracket. Now multiply with that x, I get x cubed plus 7x squared plus 6x. Now I'm multiplying with that minus 2, so I get minus 2x squared minus 14x minus 12. Okay? So you have now y is minus 2 bracket. You collect all your like terms, so you've got your x cubed. Now that is plus 5x squared, and then minus 8x minus that 12. All right? Now, guys, your last part will be, you've got a minus 2 here, and then you've got x cubed plus 5x squared minus 8x minus 12. So the next thing is to multiply through with that negative 2. So you get minus 2x cubed minus 10x squared minus 16. So negative by negative, that's a plus 16x plus a 24. Now, guys, if you put your equation in that form that they've given us, so I've got ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus a d. Okay? Now, you can see that your a is negative 2, your b is negative 10, your c is 16, and your d is 24. Okay? Now, they were asking you to prove that a is negative 2, b is negative 10, c is 16, and your d is 24. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so that is covered. So now we've got our next question here. Now they're asking us to find the coordinates of D. Now D is here, guys. What is D of that this graph? D is the turning point. Now remember, at the turning point you find the derivative and then you equate it to 0. So I'm just going to give it to you and then you'll do it at home. So you've got your y is, now your a is minus 2, so it's minus 2x cubed minus 10x squared, right, plus 16x plus 24, all right? Now, what you're going to do, guys, is you work out your derivative. So your y prime will be minus 6x squared minus 20x plus 16. From there, you equate it to 0, all right? You work out those two x values of the turning points, and then you take those x and check your d should be negative, your e is positive. So for d, you take the one that's negative, you substitute in your original equation, and then you get your coordinates of d. Okay, so I think that concludes our...
Thank you so much, Sister. On the challenge question, mindsetters, we do realize that there's been a mistake. The mindsetter said you have left a square, but we'll fix it, mindsetters. We'll post the answer on our Facebook page. Thank you guys for picking that up. You are smart, you are brilliant. Last words from us is that all the best to you all matriculants. We love you and peace.
Thank you, Sarah.